What if I told you this winter could be the coldest America's seen in over a decade and most families aren't ready? When the power's out, the wind's howling, and the house turns to ice, comfort isn't what disappears first, it's control. According to FEMA, cold weather kills more Americans every year than heat or floods combined. So tonight, we're breaking down the 9 FEMA-approved survival items every family needs before the next cold snap hits. And number 9 might just save your life when help can't reach you. Emergency thermal blankets. When the temperature drops and the power goes out, most people don't realize how fast body heat disappears. According to FEMA, hypothermia can begin in less than 30 minutes when the indoor temperature falls below 50 degrees, something that's happened in countless U.S. homes during severe winter storms. That's where an emergency thermal blanket becomes more than a piece of foil. It's life insurance in your glove box. These lightweight, reflective blankets are designed to trap up to 90% of your body heat, the same kind used by FEMA disaster teams and the Red Cross after hurricanes and blizzards. During the 2024 Arctic blast, more than 1.2 million Americans experienced extended power outages, and emergency responders reported a sharp increase in hypothermia cases, especially among older adults living alone. Now picture this. Your home's furnace dies at 2 a.m. and the temperature outside is in the single digits. You wrap yourself in a thermal blanket, pull another over your kids, and suddenly that freezing night feels survivable. That's not hypothetical. During Michigan's 2023 ice storm, one family credited these exact blankets for keeping them alive through a 48-hour blackout. The best part, they're compact, affordable, and weigh less than a deck of cards. Keep several in your car, home, and go back, because when the lights go out and the cold sets in, these shiny sheets of mylar aren't just for emergencies, they're your first line of defense against the winter itself. Portable propane or butane heater. When the power grid freezes, warmth becomes more than comfort, it becomes survival. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, more than 15 million Americans were impacted by weather-related power outages in 2024. Many during extreme cold snaps that pushed temperatures below zero. For families in states like Texas, Ohio, and Montana, the biggest threat wasn't just darkness, it was losing heat overnight. That's where a portable propane or butane heater can save lives. FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security both stress the importance of having an indoor safe backup heat source for emergencies. Look for models with built-in safety systems, an automatic shutoff and low oxygen sensor to prevent carbon monoxide buildup. One of the most trusted models, the Mr. Heater Portable Buddy, is specifically listed by FEMA as an emergency safe heater for indoor use. It's compact, reliable, and powerful enough to warm a small room or tent in minutes. Imagine this. A blizzard hits, power lines snap under ice, and the temperature inside your home drops below 40 degrees. You pull out your heater, crack a window for ventilation, and that gentle warmth spreads through the room. You can feel your fingers again, your kids stop shivering, and suddenly you're in control. FEMA recommends testing your heater ahead of time and storing extra fuel canisters safely in a cool, dry place, because when the grid goes down and the cold comes creeping in, this small piece of preparedness could mean the difference between discomfort and disaster. Water storage and purification system. You might not think of water as the first thing to fail in a cold snap, but frozen pipes, burst mains, or pump failures are often among the first casualties in extreme winter weather. When that happens, the tap goes silent and panic sets in. Federal guidelines, including those echoed by Ready.gov and FEMA, recommend storing at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for 3 days. But smart preppers go further. 14 days or more, especially in rural areas or places prone to deep freezes. It's not just drinking water, they'll use it for cooking, hygiene, or medicine too. To store water effectively, use water bricks or collapsible containers made from food-grade plastic. Keep them in a cool, dark spot. FEMA even suggests rotating stored water every 6 months if it's not commercially bottled. For purification, devices like a LifeStraw or Sawyer Mini make all the difference. The LifeStraw filtration system boasts a membrane that removes pathogens down to 0.2 microns and filters up to 1,000 gallons per unit. The Sawyer Mini, in contrast, is rated for 100,000 gallons of water and filters at a slightly finer 0.1 micron standard. Excellent durability for long-term prepping. Imagine this. A brutal storm knocks out power. the well pump and the municipal supply. You crack open your water container and feed it through your filter. Safe, drinkable water in minutes. Meanwhile, your neighbors are scrambling, heating gas cans or even risking contaminated sources. That's what separates surviving from long-term stability. Number and product to keep handy. 1. Life straw. 2. Sawyer Mini. 4. Battery-powered or hand crank radio. Let me take you back to the 2021 Texas freeze. Over 4.5 million homes lost power for days during that deep freeze. Phones went silent. Wi-Fi dropped. TV stations went dark. In that blackout, many families discovered that their smartphone, the lifeline in normal times, was useless. The one tool that still worked? The radio. That's why battery-powered or hand-crank radios are a FEMA-recommended staple. They don't rely on the grid, and if you choose one with NOAA weather radio capability, you gain access to official weather warnings, alerts, disaster operations, and emergency broadcasts. NOAA's network broadcasts all hazards messages to inform you of storms, floods, tornadoes, or other threats. And many modern emergency radios include a special alarm tone that wakes you when a new alert is issued. Think about it. When the grid is down, when cell towers go offline, that radio is your only real connection to the outside world. FEMA's Build-A-Kit checklist even lists a battery-powered or hand-crank radio with NOAA weather radio as a core item. Local AM and FM radio stations also play a role in the emergency alert system, and because radio waves travel far and are relatively low power, many stations stay on air in emergencies when other systems fail. Here's a pro tip: get a radio with that means you can set it to your exact county so it only alarms when a threat is right where you live, instead of getting every broadcast from miles away. So item number 4, a reliable battery-powered or hand-crank emergency radio is non-negotiable, because when everything else fails, the voice of NOAA and your local emergency alerts might be the only tool between you and danger. 5. Layered clothing system. FEMA recommended cold weather protection. You might think surviving winter is all about turning up the heat, but according to FEMA and the National Weather Service, most cases of cold-related deaths happen indoors, when heating systems fail, or people underestimate how quickly their body temperature can drop. That's why FEMA keeps emphasizing it's not just what you wear but how you wear. Layering properly can literally save your life. Start with a moisture-wicking base layer, something synthetic or made from merino wool. When your skin stays dry, your body holds heat more efficiently. Cotton? Forget. FEMA actually warns that cotton can trap moisture and make you lose body heat up to 25 times faster once it's wet. So if you're sweating or snow melts into your clothes, cotton can turn deadly fast. Next comes insulation. This is your warmth layer. Fleece, down, or synthetic fill are your best friends here. A good mid-layer traps warm air close to your body. Think of it like insulation in your home. It's what keeps the warmth from escaping. Finally, seal everything with a windproof and waterproof outer shell. NOAA's Winter Safety Guide notes that even a mild 20 mph wind can make a 20 bftf today feel like 4 bftf. That's frostbite territory in under 30 minutes. A windproof jacket isn't about comfort. It's about protection from exposure. Here's the reality check. In 2024, the CDC reported over 1,300 hypothermia-related deaths in the U.S. Many of those happened during short-term power outages, not wilderness disasters. So even if you're just shoveling snow or sitting through a blackout, proper layering isn't optional, it's survival. Because when the temperature plummets, the right layers don't just keep you warm, they keep you alive. Layered clothing system. FEMA recommended cold weather protection. You might think surviving winter is all about turning up the heat, but according to FEMA and the National Weather Service, most cases of cold-related deaths happen indoors when heating systems fail or people underestimate how quickly their body temperature can drop. That's why FEMA keeps emphasizing it's not just what you wear but how you wear it. Layering properly can literally save your life. Start with a moisture-wicking base layer, something synthetic or made from merino wool. When your skin stays dry, your body holds heat more efficiently. Cotton? Forget it. FEMA actually warns that cotton can trap moisture and make you lose body heat up to 25 times faster once it's wet. So if you're sweating or snow melts into your clothes, cotton can turn deadly fast. Next comes insulation. This is your warmth layer. Fleece, down, or synthetic fill are your best friends here. A good mid-layer traps warm air close to your body. Think of it like insulation in your home, it's what keeps the warmth from escaping. Finally, seal everything with a windproof and waterproof outer shell. NOAA's Winter Safety Guide notes that even a mild 20 mph wind can make a 20 BF today feel like 4 BF. That's frostbite territory in under 30 minutes. A windproof jacket isn't about comfort, it's about protection from exposure. Here's the reality check. In 2024, the CDC reported over 1,300 hypothermia-related deaths in the U.S. Many of those happened during short-term power outages, not wilderness disasters. So even if you're just shoveling snow or sitting through a blackout, proper layering isn't optional, it's survival. Because when the temperature plummets, the right layers don't just keep you warm, they keep you alive. Backup power bank or solar generator. When the lights go out, power isn't just convenience, it's connection, survival, and peace of mind. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, weather-related power outages have increased by nearly 20% since 2020, with more than 240 million Americans affected by at least one major outage in 2024 alone. Winter storms, high winds, and aging infrastructure are pushing our electrical grid to its limit. And when the grid goes dark, everything stops, from heating systems to cell towers. That's where backup power banks and solar generators come in. FEMA classifies portable power solutions as critical emergency assets for disaster readiness. Models like the Jackery Explorer 1000 or EcoFlow Delta 2 can charge your phone, power LED lanterns, and even run small space heaters or medical devices. During the 2021 Texas freeze, families who owned these systems were able to stay warm, keep their phones charged, and receive emergency alerts while neighbors sat in the dark. Think about it. When temperatures hit single digits, your phone isn't just for scrolling, it's your lifeline to family emergency services and information. A charged battery can mean knowing where warming shelters are or when help is on the way. And here's the best part. Solar generators aren't just for doomsday scenarios anymore. The EPA and DOE both highlight renewable power as a sustainable way to reduce grid stress. A single day of sunlight can recharge a unit capable of keeping your essentials running for hours. So call it what it is, independence. A solar generator doesn't just keep the lights on, it keeps hope alive when everything else around you fails. And that's something every household deserves before the next storm hits. Non-perishable food and heat source. When a winter storm hits, grocery shelves empty in hours. And according to FEMA, most Americans have less than 3 days' worth of food stored at home. That's not nearly enough when roads shut down and power lines freeze. The USDA even reported that in early 2025, weather-related outages affected food access for over 8 million households across the U.S. Think about that. 8 million families suddenly dependent on what was already sitting in their pantries. That's why non-perishable foods are your lifeline. Stock up on canned soups, stews, and vegetables. They're hearty, ready to heat, and packed with sodium that helps you retain warmth. High-calorie energy bars and freeze-dried meals are excellent because they stay good for years and require almost no. Many emergency kits approved by FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security include brands like Mountain House, Augustin Farms, and ReadyWise. Not because they're fancy, but because they simply work. But here's where most people go wrong. They forget about heat. If your power goes out, that cold can of soup isn't just unappetizing, it's dangerous. A warm meal keeps your core temperature stable, improves morale, and gives your body fuel to fight the cold. FEMA specifically recommends butane or alcohol stoves that are rated for indoor use. Models like the Gas One portable butane stove or Sterno Green canned heat are reliable options. Imagine sitting in a dark, powerless house while the wind roars outside. The difference between eating a hot bowl of soup and a cold can of beans is more than comfort, it's survival. Don't wait for a storm warning to find out what's missing. Build your cold weather food kit now while the shelves are still full and the lights are still on. LED lanterns and headlamps. When the lights go out, it's not just darkness that fills the room, it's uncertainty. And that feeling can be just as dangerous as the cold itself. That's why FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security list portable light sources, especially LED lanterns and headlamps, as core essentials in every emergency kit. Because in a blackout, light isn't just convenience, it's control. Think about it. When power grids failed during the 2024 Midwest ice storm, over 1.2 million homes lost electricity for days. Families who had reliable LED lighting lanterns, solar lamps, or rechargeable headlamps reported feeling safer, calmer, and more organized. according to local emergency response summaries. It makes sense. With light, you can move safely, cook meals, check on loved ones, and even prevent injuries from trips or falls. One of the most common post-disaster accidents, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Unlike old flashlights that burn through batteries, modern LED lanterns can last over 100 hours on a single charge. Many models now include solar panels or crank charging, giving you freedom from disposable batteries that might not be available when stores close or roads ice over. Brands like Goal Zero, Black Diamond, and Streamlight are often used by first responders because they're rugged, efficient, and dependable. Here's something most people don't think about. Light restores hope. During Oklahoma's ice storm last year, a FEMA field report noted that households with lighting were noticeably calmer and better coordinated during the outage. Kids could read, parents could ration food, and neighbors could signal each other across dark streets. It's a small thing that makes a massive difference. In the dead of winter, when power lines snap and the world goes black, that soft glow from a lantern might just be the most powerful comfort you have left. First aid and medications kit. When the temperature drops and roads turn into sheets of ice, medical help can feel a world away. According to FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security, severe winter storms can delay emergency response times by hours or even days in some areas. That means, in those critical moments after an accident or sudden illness, you are your own first responder. Think about it. A simple fall on an icy step can lead to a sprained wrist or deep cut. Add freezing temperatures, and your body's ability to heal or stop bleeding slows dramatically. This is why FEMA emphasizes keeping a fully stocked first aid kit with essentials like bandages, antiseptic wipes, medical tape, tweezers, and antibiotic ointment. But don't stop there. Cold weather also worsens chronic conditions like asthma, arthritis, and heart disease. If you or someone in your household relies on medication, store at least a week's worth of prescriptions, sealed in waterproof bags and kept in a temperature-stable place. The CDC notes that during winter storms, many Americans end up hospitalized not just from injuries but from missed medications. That's why it's smart to include pain relievers, fever reducers, and even electrolyte packets, small things that can make a big difference when you're stranded. And here's one item many overlook: instant heat packs. FEMA specifically lists them as part of a cold weather emergency kit because they're inexpensive, compact, and potentially life-saving when fingers or toes start going numb. Picture this: it's 10 degrees outside, the power's been out for 12 hours, and your child's hands are freezing despite gloves. A few activated heat packs could be the difference between discomfort and frostbite. So before the next storm hits, take a few minutes to restock that kit, because when roads are blocked and paramedics can't reach you, being prepared isn't paranoia, it's survival. Before you go, ask yourself, if the power went out tonight, would you be ready? Don't wait for the next storm to find out. Stock up, stay warm, and stay safe. If this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe for more real-world preparedness tips, and share it with someone who might need a reminder before winter hits. Because when the cold comes, it won't wait for anyone.